he leads the line quite well, and he's appreciating the players around him. Good way to pass, and good vision, and he can score headed goals and different types of goals. So he's having a good season so far.
Do you see him as someone who can alleviate the goal scoring issue so far?
Well, I think he's a good option for us, and we're looking forward to getting him in this week and working with him at close quarters. Obviously, it's his first introduction into the Irish international team, so we're looking forward to seeing him training.
And the season is in. Sheffield United had it on their website an hour before your squad had announced that he wouldn't be in because he's recovering from injury. So was there any tension there between yourselves and Sheffield United?
No, not at all. No. The End has been out for a while, all right. He's been very consistent performer for Ireland, and obviously he's had his osteopubis injury, but he's come back and played 90 minutes, 20 minutes and 70 minutes, and he can play obviously left centre back or left wing back or left back, so he certainly will give us options.
Yeah. Sorry, my last question, and I appreciate this might be a slightly niche question, but I was interested to hear Keith Andrews talk the other day about the fact you have KPIs for specific games that you follow, and then that kind of converts into your game plan. Can you give me an example of the kind of stats you're looking at for, say, the Azerbaijan game, which then, because Keith said there was a correlation between hitting those KPIs and getting a result?
I think the main statistic we're looking for against Azerbaijan is to win the game, and we need to turn our draws into wins. I think if it was to have that conversation, it's a long conversation, and I think from my point of view, that's what we need to do. We've obviously the last window, it's very intensive, three games, 6 days, very tough physically against Portugal, obviously losing in the 96th minute. Azerbaijan and Serbia games, and I thought the 3 very exciting games, and but we obviously want to turn a number of the draws we've had into wins, and we should have done that, and we haven't, so we just need to find a way of doing that now.
Stephen, can I just ask how you're planning to do that? What is the big change from the previous window that you're looking to make for this fixture against Azerbaijan, for example?
I think obviously the concession to goal against Azerbaijan, obviously it's got a goal from distance, 2 goals we conceded at home have been some goals from distance, so we have to make sure that doesn't happen again, and convert our chances, create an awful lot of chances against Azerbaijan, and we just obviously on the plus side, we've shown a capacity in the last couple of games to equalise late, and we haven't had that, so it's important that we had that. I think the formulation of the team and in the summer, you can see the sort of connection out between the younger players, the more experienced players, and the team spirit is good, as we showed against Serbia. Serbia were very good against us, but we played a lot of good football in that match and got the late goal against Azerbaijan. So the ability to keep going, that level of persistence and perseverance and the capacity to score late goals, that's an important trait. And we've seen that in countries such as Wales, for example, who have scored a lot of late goals over the last few years. And we've noted that, like in very, very tight games, they've scored goals late. And it's an important characteristic of any team wants to be successful. And so it was good that in the last window that we did that, and we just need to, because we have taken the lead in games against Portugal and Serbia this year in qualifiers. So it is important, the ability to get late goals is an important trait, and one that we hadn't shown up into the last window. So it was important now to get them 2 late goals that we need to continue in that vein.
And then just one other one, there was a poll released today where of the people who are invested in the Ireland team, people who follow the Ireland team, 80% want to see this management continue. Is that sort of stuff important to you at all, what the public think and the relationship between this team and the football public?
Well, I don't know, but I think one of the things about the atmosphere in the game against Serbia and the Aviva was exceptional. The support got behind the team regardless that we were 1-0 down, really connecting with the players. I think it's from the ground up. We've obviously introduced a high number of players into the squad in the last 7 or 8 months, and I think it's obviously players that it's quite organic, because it's players that have come from clubs throughout the country. It's a reflection of all the good work done by coaches around the country, and a lot of the players have emerged with mixed results. Some have done better than others. And people are excited by an introduction of a high number of players. I think the team is evolving. We wanted to get better. We just need more victories. We know that, and we need to turn them draws into wins. And I think when I go out, through the airport and travel to England a lot of time, if I'm in Dublin or anyone else, there's a lot of people excited by the team. They want it to work. They want they want the team to really evolve and do well. We all want to improve our results, and hopefully we can do that in this window.
Next question, please. Ed Leahy.
Yeah, Stephen, just first a quick one just on Conor Ronan. Have you been watching him? How close is he to the squad? And I'm sure he's the type of player from your primary 21s that would make your style of play very much more workable.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm a big fan of Conor. Obviously he did well in Slovakia. He had a quieter spell in Switzerland. He had the guts to go on loan in Slovakia and have an impact, and he did brilliantly. And obviously he was in the under-21 team there and did brilliantly. And his spell in Switzerland was okay, and he did his metatarsal, which was unfortunate. He's come back. He's gone on loan to St Mirren, and he's only played a couple of games, so he's not close to the squad now. He needs a sustained period of games under his belt. It was great to see him get 2 goals last week. But other players were close, like Jack Taylor at Peterborough was having an excellent time. He was very close to being involved, and he's been excellent, really excellent. We like, Jack could be involved in the future. He's doing really well in midfield, and obviously Anthony Scully's, scoring goals at Lincoln and coming and doing okay. So players like that are emerging, and hopefully they can continue to do well.
Can I just ask you about going back to Will Keane scenario? And obviously we've known with Keane brothers for 10 years, and the mixed allegiances, I suppose, and how other players have been similar for the last, the Grealishes, the Rices, and we're sort of getting to know that Irish-English family. It can be a complicated scenario. Can you give us a bit of insight into the conversation you've had with Will about his? I know he's probably had ambitions to play before you took over. Just in terms of his family background and in that sense, and what's inspired him to sort of really push to come back.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not something that I've initiated. Like, Will has been qualified for the last couple of years now, and I did have a conversation with him. I met him after one of the games and had a good chat with him recently, and actually earlier in the season we had a good chat, and then his form has been very consistent. I think he had injuries the last couple of years and he wasn't playing maybe as consistently, but he's good to watch. Like, he's a very clever player, good touch and good awareness, and he's an intelligent footballer. So if he can keep getting the running, he seems to be enjoying his football at Wigan and doing well. So it is League One, admittedly, but he has he's impressed anyway. Anytime we go to see him, he's impressed us, and anytime I've gone to see him, so he's been important for them this season.
Stephen, just to pick up on
just Gavin next.
Stephen, can I just ask you, just after you get back from Baku, is it back to Castleknock in here, or did you come across something close to the Aviva that you want to continue?
No, in this campus we're based in Castleknock, yeah, for sure.
Just on the point about the poll that was done there on supporters, like after the last window, I know Jonathan Hill was asked whether or not he'd be sort of backing you to continue as manager. Does that kind of, that poll and, I suppose the support from the public and, whether or not there'll be a lot of bums and seats for the friendly against Qatar as well, does that sort of mean anything to you when it comes to those talks? I think, was it November time those talks will be taking place?
Well, I think it's not something I'm fixated on, really. I think it's great to have, I spoke about it earlier, great to have support from the Irish public, and there's a lot of people very excited about the team. We all want results to improve. I think I felt that going around the country, and I've really felt that when I've been travelling anywhere, and going on, even when we go on runs go on staff runs and things, cars pulling over. You know, there's just that general feeling around the place that people are excited by the possibilities of the team doing well. But no, I'm not fixated on anything. I'm just focused really on these matches against Azerbaijan and Qatar and the next two windows. And you know, it's not something really that that's my main focus. Just really on these games.
Have those discussions with Jonathan been taking place yet?
No, and nor would I expect them to. You know, no, not at all. That's not my contract's not until next July, and regardless, it's not something I'm very focused on. I'm just focused on the job the privilege, the job that I have as international manager, and I'm just focused on doing the job and making sure we perform well in this window.